This video brought to you by Forex Internals.
Hi, and welcome to the FX Internals MultiBar Indicator demonstration. Today we'll be discussing what FXI MultiBar does as an indicator and showing you what the settings do to affect its display. The FXI MultiBar Indicator displays the strength of each individual currency of a pair against all other currencies. So what this does is it gives you a measure of the internal strength of one currency compared to the internal strength of another currency. Today we're going to be showing this demonstration on the Euro USD. So the internal multi-bar measurement will be showing you the strength of the euro against every other currency but the dollar, and the strength of the dollar against every other currency but the euro. And this way you can see if movements in the euro dollar are matched or convergent or divergent with movements of the euro in general and the dollar in general. Now, before you run MultiBar or any of our internal indicators, you need to have the 1 minute data for all US dollar-based pairs of the majors. And for us, that's the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, the New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar, the euro versus the US dollar, the pound versus the dollar, the pound Swiss, the dollar Swiss, the dollar CAD, and the dollar yen. And all of these charts must be set on 1 minute data. This is a quirk of MetaTrader 4. They base all of their data analysis on 1 minute bars and create 30-minute bars or 60-minute bars or 15-minute bars based on the 1 minute data. So we need that data to do the analysis. Once you've set up all of these charts, you just go to MultiBar and drag it on, and now we'll walk through the settings. The first thing we do is go to the Common tab and make sure that Allow DLL Imports is selected. All of our indicators and trading tools need this in order to run properly. We'll then go to Inputs and walk through all the settings. The time frame def defines the valid settings for time frame, 0 being chart time, so we'll set that to 0 to use the chart time. Periods is the periods back that we're going to look in order to calculate the change in strength or change in momentum of the currency. In this case, it's 8 periods back. ROC type or rate of change type is either a 0 or a 1. We have more documentation on that in our manual. We're going to use 0, meaning that we're going to use some sort of standard moving average. Since we're using 0, we are not going to use the ROC fast periods and slow periods. If we had a setting of 1, the ROC fast and slow periods are the 2 periods back that we would look and then take the difference of to see if the momentums of the individual currencies are accelerating to the downside or accelerating to the upside. Smoothing is, do we take a small smoothing of the measurements so that we don't get large jerky movements in our results because the prices whip around. So smoothing type in this case is 1 for an exponential moving average, and we will smooth this over 3 bars. So it's a very short smoothing. Price type is the type of price that we will be doing our measurements. We can do it on the close, on the highs, etc. We like 5, which is the typical price, the high plus the low plus the close divided by 3. Calc type is, are we just taking a linear sum of the strength or the average of the strength? Meaning, we can take for example, the euro strength against the Aussie, the euro strength against the New Zealand dollar, the euro strength against the pound, etc., and take the average of that strength, or we can take the sum of that strength. We can add all of them together. I like the calc, the sum. Some people like the average. It's sort of up to you. You should play with it. Calc current pair is false, meaning that we do not include the strength of the euro versus the dollar and the strength of the dollar against the euro. This way we get a measurement that's completely unrelated to the euro dollar itself. Some people might like to include that. We just have that defaulted to false. Just to make sure we can see what we're looking at, especially on white backgrounds, we're just going to change this histogram measure to black, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So we're now going to hit OK, and it's going to go look at the internal strength on everything, and we get a nice little graph here. The red line is the strength of the euro. The green line is the strength of the dollar. The red line, in other words, is the strength of the front currency of a currency pair, in this case the euro, and the green line here is the strength of the back currency, in this case the dollar. The black histogram here is the difference of these two. So you can see in this area here, the euro is stronger than the dollar because it's positive, but the euro is coming from a negative position and rising, but the dollar is coming from a negative position and rising as well. So you can also see sort of the strength of a move based on where the currencies are coming, if they're rising or falling. One very interesting thing to look at is whether you have divergences in the euro-dollar price movement versus the internals price movement. You'll see on this bar here, it's an up bar, but we have down here a negative histogram, meaning the dollar is rising and the euro doesn't have the same strength that the dollar does. So we should see, based on the internals, a decline in the euro dollar. And you'll notice right here, after this up bar, we do have a decline. Also, we have a negative bar here. Just show you that. We have a negative bar on this crosshairs here, and a rising internals down here. So this down bar in the euro dollar is not matched by the up move in the euro versus the dollar across other currencies, and you should have a rise in the euro dollar, which we do here of looks like nearly 50, 60 pips over a couple of hours. So by looking at the movement of the euro dollar as compared to the strength of the euro versus the strength of the dollar, we can see some weaknesses or strengths in the pair's movement and trade that is the hope. We hope you enjoyed this demonstration, and we suggest that you go to www.fxinternals.com to see other videos on our other indicators. And as always, we wish you the best of luck in trading.